Hello, this is Margarita Emanuele. How are you? Saturday, and we are in Washington, D.C., waiting patiently for the snow to fall. Goodness, horrible. I got milk, bread, and eggs. I'm not worried about the snow. We'll see. It's not a washout. I hope you're well. If you have liked my videos so far, if I may be so forward and ask you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel, that will help me out a lot in bringing you more content, because then you'll be the first one to know when I post new content. Until I get my street cred and I get my cred back, and we'll be able to once again do live streaming. I'm stuck recording now. So I wanted to bring you tonight just my ebook on the 5 pillars of personal mastery for women over 50. I've been thinking about a lot of you. I see a lot of content on YouTube. It's just the suffering of women over 50. The lack of hormones, too many hormones, not feeling valued in the workplace, getting laid off. I have been here, you know who you are. Just having to start over and thinking, why start over? Because starting over to me means just actually doing the same thing we've been doing for a long time, the things we already mastered. And I honestly don't think that's fair to any of us, as we have hit that point in time. Once you hit that 50 mark, we should definitely be poised to doing other things and be ready to go. No more of, I got many years doing X, Y, and Z. I kill myself building a career. I can't not count how many careers I have lost or probably eliminated on my own. Not by on purpose, but maybe it was their time to go and for me to do something different. So I wanted to go over my ebook, and I will be putting the link to the ebook, and you'll see hopefully that they will let me post my my QR code. The QR code is not there, then I'll have the link in the description of this video. So you can sign up for it, and then as a consequence, you'll get more emails from me naturally. But then you'll be advised of when I'm doing free trainings online and so forth, and you'll be able to avail yourselves to this material. And I wanted to go over my ebook and the 5 pillars. I base a lot of my training on Ikigai and Kaizen. Spent some time in Japan, yes. During my service, but not necessarily that is it. This type of lifestyle philosophy put into practice can be so fulfilling for people of any age, at any stage. And I wanted to share some points with you. This was not going to go deeply into the Ikigai system, but these are translations of how these 5 pillars, these points of instruction, are going to help you reshape your mindset so that you adapt quickly to changes. Like I said, if you lost your job, and this has been back, 2024 was challenging for a lot of us, but some of us embraced the challenges head on. I definitely doubled down on the good stuff. Any effort that I thought maybe a few years ago I might have given up quickly, that's not the case today. And I want to get you to that point as well, where you're not doubting yourselves that the change is here. It's up to me to embrace it and then see how I can put my stamp of approval, put my own brand to it. So let me get started. This is just about a journey, really, which is I always feel like I'm always traveling someplace, and for every decade of life, it has felt that way. That at each stage that we live, we are creating a completely different persona, and a new scenario or a new storyline, and we should definitely embrace that at this stage as well. Um, Not going to go through that statement. You can download the ebook at the end of this presentation. Not much of a presentation. Just wanted to have a really, just really as quiet evening, and I wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk about these principles. Um, and I can see it much better here myself. I got to wear glasses on this one. Um, so it starts with reflection and self-discovery, meaning that we really have to start asking ourselves what it is that we want to do and how we're going to be this point forward. And for me, I measure it in decades, and I've noticed that I had pretty much accomplished many things over the years at each stage, my 30s and 40s and my 50s, and starting at my 60s. So this one's really interesting. I call it fascinating. I'm not frustrated at all. I'm just tackling it as it comes, but I'm definitely more bullish on the details. Like when I think that I need to give up, that's when I really start revving up. So here is about visualizing, seeing who you're going to be and where you're going to be. And you should have a clear idea of what version of yourselves you're going to assume this time. And you're not apologizing, you're not asking for permission or approval. You should be asking for support for those who are closest to you. Um, if you don't get it, then you have to wrestle it somehow. I'm not saying destroy relationships or try to make changes drastically, but this is a nice outline of how you can begin to acclimate the mind to welcome the changes and then tailor it to the way you want things to be. You're the only one who's control here. So researching what it is that you really like, something you ever wanted to do, but you had life, family, school and careers, etc., whatever it was that you took so much time to invest in, to master over the years, that maybe now it's just leaving you stranded and not really serving you. That means you need to start setting up some objectives um, to serve you from this point on. Journaling is a good way to really zero in on the things we want to do. One recommendation is, I did it once, and I have never gone back to the workbook. Some people do, but I had revelations throughout the 12 weeks as this one book that he did the workbook for art. And I'm going to pick it up and show it to you because I haven't had too much coffee today. So The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and maybe I can get it on, you see it a little bit, maybe you've seen it on Amazon. You can get it for like $35. I got mine for 18. This is the book and the workbook. And I was stuck mentally where I wanted to go back to a more creative and artistic side of me again. I have a musical background, and I sing. I'm a classically trained soprano, so musical background, and I do artistic stuff. I draw. I used to design clothing, and I pretty much dabble in a lot of stuff that was creative. But my careers naturally took up all my time. So when there was me time left over, it was usually not as engaging. So over the years, I did less and less and less of these stuff. But starting the journals, I had journals when I was at least in my teens. Until about a few years ago, I destroyed them because it's not going to leave that stuff to anybody. But it was really insightful to see what I was thinking at the time, events I'd already forgotten about because they were not really important to me now, which is why I got rid of those old journals. But I still have some. I have a whole new collection of journals. And journaling is not about just put down what I had to eat today, but it can be adapted to what I had to eat today, right? Because it could be for managing how you eat, which is important as a health factor, whether you're working out or engaging something that's new that you're trying to adapt. Of course, like I said in another video, it takes up to 21 days, up to 30 to get your brain to actually kick into gear where it's accepting the new programming, and you have to stick with it, which is why I do my accelerator program. This is not about that tonight. The free ebook is an introduction to some of these themes, and I want to make sure that as many people get it as possible. So just write down the artist way. It's an excellent um, system in that you can open up the workbook, and it's several pages per day, and you'll find yourself struggling to put stuff down to paper. But once you get that first page, and you might feel embarrassed that I'm supposed to be writing 3 pages a day of pure stream of consciousness. This isn't very structured. It shouldn't be at all. If you structure it, that's up to you. That's your taste. And that's how it comes out of your brain, then so be it. But preferably initially, just write. Just write what you're feeling. Just write what something you observed to happen today. Anything that you want. Anything that you're feeling at the time. And over the next few days, it's gonna develop very nicely where the brain tends to open up, and some of the emotions attached to a lot of behaviors that we're trying to change they're not going to shift right away, but you're gonna start feeling like your brain's gonna release some reaction that this does not appear to be what we're used to doing. When you start feeling that uncomfortable sensation, that's your programming pushing back a little bit. You hit uh, an interesting point that maybe you want to work on. So writing every day, even if it's just even just one page, if you don't want to do the artist way, I highly recommend it. Um, After week 8 is one they recommend they say that you can go ahead and go backwards and read your own writings. And even while I was doing it, after week 3 or 4, something popped open in my mind, and I actually started to open up more, and I realized how some of my blockages were working against me. And I just kind of shook my head like, wow, I can't believe I just wrote that. And that I agreed with the assessment or analysis of what I was doing or not doing. So highly recommended. So this is not just for children. Journaling is a wonderful thing. It's got to be handwritten to paper. You got to get that muscle, the brain muscle, together with the hand-eye coordination. It's engaging the brain in a different way. So you want to do it rather than typing on a Word document on a computer, which is fine. It's expeditious, but it doesn't get you to start prepping your mindset to receive new programming so you can start working on new goals. The mood board side of this exercise is something that I do in my accelerator. I'm not going to cover it completely here. You can do one if you go on Canva and you get a template. Most people can do that and master that technique very quickly. Like you research by going online on Pinterest or whatever. You start looking for things that attract you, that kind of signify where you want to be. Could be you want to get more money, you want to make more money, buy a new house or a car, but it can go beyond that. And this is what I want to get you, is where do you find yourself mentally and emotionally rather than physically first, and put it on a board. So the board that I work on is different. This board is actually more like a PDF, like the one you're going to download tonight if you don't have it already. And it's going to be tailor-made for you. It's going to tell your story, how you got to where you are, how you're going to proceed for the next, like I said, next few years. You set the tone of how far in the future you want to go, because the future is not here. It doesn't exist yet. You live the past. So in the very moment today, right now, is when you're crafting what that tomorrow is going to look like. So the mood board is very important. So if you want to do it on your own and you're not going to join the formal accelerator program, that's cool. But this is actually a Vision Quest mood board. It's a book that I write for you. So, but in your case, you can do it with visuals, and visuals are very good for getting the brain used to seeing and hopefully attaching feelings, positive feelings, to the pictures that you put on your mood board. And we're going to address the limiting beliefs. Is the next thing, and probably the most important, is that our brains are wired to keep us alive, not to help us make that decision when we choose a life partner, or what college program we're going to join, what career is best, or where we're going to stay for vacation. The brain's only concerned about preserving life, and sometimes that goes totally against what we wish emotionally and psychologically. It's not, the brain is not designed for personal development, definitely not designed. So you're going to have a clash right away. When I say remove and replace here, something's going to have to be something's going to have to take the place of whatever the behavior you're trying to correct or change, and it has to be something that's going to serve the new version of you. So consider that when you download the ebook, and set just for your own time, quiet time, to consider what is it that I'm thinking about myself that is holding me back from moving. Like if you lost a job and you had to start over, and you're feeling very limited and very stuck, and that mindset that I cannot start over anywhere. That's just an example of many, but it's a very common one. And I would encourage you to play an exercise. It's not going to change you overnight. It takes a little bit of time, but that when you write that negative, one negative sentence about you that you know you maybe you say, or maybe you've heard somebody, hopefully not, but it happens. Sometimes we get input from other people, even in our personal lives. We get people who are kind of know it all, and then they're going to assess you. You have to assess yourselves. So ask yourself that one question and write it down and read it to yourself. I've had this done even in therapy, whereby I read the sentence and the sentence pissed me off to no end. And I said in that moment, I think I want to go ahead and take that one first. It angers me the most that I say that about myself. I want to flip it and assign it a positive and totally opposite value. So if you say that you're not good, you can't start over, flip it. And I said, I have the ability to start over. I have X, and they can make an you can write up a list of the things that are positive about you, your education, your training, or your personal value, and add those values to it. If you do it in a column, kind of anal retentive like I am, I love Excel, do a spreadsheet. I do spreadsheets, I like them. But you can do it in handwriting on a notebook, and then you say a list of the things that you say about yourself. You say about yourself, or that you believe, you feel about yourself. They are negative. Do you know are negatives? And then find proof in the next column. The proof or disproof. The disprove will be the turning it a negative into a positive. It sounds kind of like Pollyanna, but it isn't. Just actually going against what you believe about yourself when it's incorrect or it's not true, and you have no proof of it, is the best way to start flipping that training, that conditioning you have in your mind. So just cross-reference to see what it is you've been saying about yourself. There's something you learned along the way that may be holding you back today, and just replace it with the opposite, the complete opposite, positive, and see how that feels, and just hang on to that. That's what I mean by remove and replace. Something has to be replaced in that programming. It might as well be something that you choose to replace it with. And this ebook and this actually the accelerator is not all about career, but a lot of us have been career women, and we push really hard to build a persona and identified with the work. I certainly did. And I'm in Washington, D.C., so meaning that this area of the country, people identify each other. At cocktail parties, they say, so what do you do? Oh, what do you do? Oh, yeah. I found myself asking the same question. How ridiculous, but that's how people communicate out here. You may be someplace else around the world right now thinking, how do people value where you live when you meet in a social context? How do they introduce themselves? Did they go? Most people are not going to say, "Hi, I'm a mother of five. How about you?" That may not resonate, but when we match career to career fields, people suddenly seem to open up and be more interesting in a social situation. Maybe you haven't been hitting the social scene. And I mean, social scene is, and uh, you're not going to events that where other people who pursue the things you like. That you say, if you're an artist or um, somebody who works in administrative endeavors, whatever whatever it is you've been doing up until today, there's always a group that specialize where people meet and then they share ideas that they have in common. And this is what it's all about. Objective, the SMART goals. This is pretty standard. I know it's an ebook, but I want to reiterate that this is the best way to organize your thoughts and what it is that you want to do, and pick the parts that may be the most doable right away, just to get a taste of being able to shift gears. And once you get good at organizing how you want to achieve something or move away from a situation or circumstances that are not to your liking. So when you want to improve, definitely you can use the SMART goals as a framework. But I do teach um, other methodologies, but this one's pretty common. That's why I included it here. So you can go through a career. If you were never a career woman, how about that? You stayed home. You did the things that some of us never got to do. You raised kids. That's great. And now it's your time to grow. Wouldn't you like to start growing your personal connections? And this is what career options in setting goals is. This would be one of the things is to grow your inner circle and go outside of the inner circle. The skills and knowledge, I cannot stress that enough. In my 50s, I did government contracting for many years after my military service, and I was a federal employee for a couple of agencies. And so government work and contract and industry, I worked in security, and I've worn many hats, but at some point I was obsolete. And it was something that I was examining deep inside, that I knew that I wanted more training, more education in some of the fields of work that I was in. But I always put up an objection. And you're going to have the objections right now. Like, why should I spend money, this accelerator, any training? There's something that you really need to do for yourself and put yourself above everybody else. I'm sure by now we've lived long enough where we put our best interest ahead of, not ahead of everybody else's, but the opposite. Everybody else came first, and then whatever was left over, maybe it trickled down to us, and when it trickled down to us, we didn't even take advantage of that. So for many years, I really said I really want to get a certifications in certain things like IT or cybersecurity. That's one thing that I never did get to do. I did everything else in security. So I'm pretty well rounded, but that's one thing when I didn't bring in technology that kind of set me back, because I would be considered more of an admin person, soft skill, which is pretty strange. I worked in physical security, not to go in great deal at this time, but not lacking the tech certifications, even one really hurt me career wise. But at the time, I wasn't really wanting to see that. So we all put our own barriers to understanding. You should learn a new skill. So with the Ikigai course that I teach, I'm not calling it that here, but the skills that this is in Asian cultures and the system, they always looking to improve by 1% every day. Just try to see something new, even if it's something that's familiar to you. You should see it with new eyes. So continuous learning is something that it's non-negotiable, especially when you hit a certain age. For us, we really need to be open to learning new things. Just because we reach a certain age doesn't mean we stop learning, because we already did it. I'm still learning new things. I've learned things that were technological, working with satellite systems and wireless communications. That's something I never envisioned I would do. But I did in my late 50s because that's what the job called for. And before that, I was an analyst. That's not something that I was trained to do initially, but then I got really good at it, and I was pretty well respected. And I was in my 50s, early 50s then. So it's up to you to really look in the mirror and say, I need new skills. Everybody needs new skills. And it can be done anywhere. You can go online, like here right now. I'm just giving you some ideas. This isn't even comprehensive. You can download the ebook and then just kind of get used to the idea that you need something. Maybe you've been holding back, thinking you can't do it, but you can, and you should. Building a brand and networking, I touched that earlier, but I cannot stress it enough that you need to come out of the hidey hole. So whatever it is you are, whatever it is you're doing, you need more exposure to the rest of the world. People need to see you. People need to know your value. And branding is another course that I teach. It's not going to be tonight, but it's part of the accelerator. But it's introduced here, just like I'm doing right now, being on YouTube or any other social media channel. I've been on them before, but I had to cease operations because the jobs kept me from being online. Imagine that. So here I am, full circle. Grow your personal networks and drawing you out to go into events of whatever new thing you want to do. I'm sure there's a group out there of other people. It could be men and women that you want to meet new people and go out and actually share that new thing that you want to do. It doesn't have to be very specific. Like I said, a career, it can be just a hobby. If that's the one thing that's going to get you out from hiding, because you are your own brand, and that's what most people don't understand. And that's going to have to change if you want to be able to improve yourselves as you grow older. Your age, our age, really is. It's not the liability, but the other way around. That's really what's really making us more valuable. So grow your personal brand, and I talk about branding maybe another video. If you want to launch a career could be starting a new own business. Doesn't mean that you're going to work for somebody else. You just got laid off. You're not like me. I never went back to work. That's how it is. People ask me, who are you working for now, Margarita? Nobody. I put 100% energy into what I'm doing and building my own little kingdom, my own business. I got off the fence. That's how I did it. And when the universe opened up that opportunity for me, after I was let go and I brought another organization lots of money and I was the first one to go, guess what? I had no taste to go back. And I did not cry about it. I walked out, my head high. These things happen, but sometimes it happens because it's time for us to move on, and we didn't value ourselves in the workforce. I priced myself out of the workforce a couple of times by sticking around certain jobs for many years. So let's stop doing that. So you can look for jobs, you can look for new careers, you can do anything you really want. And I want to encourage you to explore these opportunities. So you still want to work for somebody, and you don't have to. After a certain age, if you're retirement age, you want to start over, but do things that is your way, then that should be the way you should do it. I'm still recruiting for the accelerator. It's not priced at the $7.99 like it was until the New Year's Eve. That expires back to its normal pricing. It's $4,099 for $4,999 for 8 weeks, and then you have the other benefits that come with it. You can still go to the website and sign up. Let me go ahead and put myself back on the screen. I just wanted to take some time to just reiterate that you don't have to be stuck, and you don't have to feel. You can feel sorry for yourself for about 10 seconds. And then you go through all the grief, like when you lose somebody who's important, a job or an opportunity. They're not really tangible things. You can change them, you can morph them into anything you want. The big question is, are you ready to do this? Are you ready to do this? So with that said, I wanted to thank you for being here. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I would very much like to see you in future recordings, which are going to be pretty much soon. I want to do a workshop. I'm not promising. I'm actually going to do the workshop. It's probably going to be for the course writing or the SEO course that I just launched. If you have a website and you're not making, you're not getting a lot of people coming to your website for some reason. I already probably know why that is. So let me. The name of my song here, that's the theme song, I'm going to play a little bit. It's called "I Got Your Layoff Right Here." So I got a good sense of humor. I hope you join me again. Click like if you wouldn't mind, and subscribe and follow me, and let me know in comments, or you can email me if there's any way that I can be of service to you in this channel. Let me know. That's what I'm here for. Happy Saturday, and I'll see you soon.